What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the P. Coffee Brown Show. I am your hostess with the mostest, P. Coffee Brown. I'm so ecstatic about tonight. Listen, our MC is not going to be in the building with me tonight, so you got your girl in the building, and I'm so excited about bringing on these fantastic authors. You guys have seen what they've done. They've done an incredible job with the new publication, Bosses, Babes, and Business, the good, the bad, and the balance. So I'm so excited to be interviewing some of our other authors who you did not get a chance to meet in our first two segments. So please do some snap claps, show some love in the building as you're spreading the wealth, letting others know that you're on the show on tonight. For our first two authors in the seat tonight, Charity Coley and Crystal Saul. So welcome them to the show. Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening. Welcome. Super excited to have both of you bosses in on tonight. Guys, as you're coming in, I got my Instagram family in the house, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Everybody is in the building. Go ahead and share. Let everybody know that you're in with us on tonight as we celebrate these incredible thought leaders on this amazing, exceptional project that they have done. So we're going to start off with Charity Coley on tonight, and then we're going to hop in with Crystal Saul. So Crystal, we're going to get back to you in just a hot second, boss. So good evening, Charity. Welcome. We are so excited to have you on with us tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I see you are obviously in your space on tonight. What we got going on in the background?
I'm in my home office. So of course I have a lot of children. So I have a space that I work in at home as well in the evening time. So I continue to work efficiently. You know, I got to come home and take care of these babies and feed them dinner and make sure they're good for the next day.
I know that's right. It's about the feeding the children's ministry. Come on with the feeding of the children. Because, you know, we don't want nobody to say that we don't feed our children.
Most definitely.
So you know what? Let's talk about that. You wrote an amazing chapter. It is called The Boss with the Babies. How interesting. You just got done talking. You just came right on in talking about the children's ministry. My Lord.
Yes.
So in your chapter, you talk so candidly about your journey as an entrepreneur and the amazing things that you do to add value to all these other lives. But you also mentioned about your scheduling when it comes to having children and building a brand.
Right.
How important is it to have a support system in place when you are building a brand and you do have a family?
Ooh. You will not succeed if you don't. Having a support system is key to success for an entrepreneur who has children. So scheduling for me is that thing that kind of took me from being a business owner to being a boss. So now I have things in place for the kids. It's a specific dinner time. It's a specific person to pick the kids up from school. But when I didn't have those things, I noticed I started to fail in my business because I felt overwhelmed. You feel the weight, this
Right.
school calling this kid sick, this child got a football game, and when you fall apart, everything does. So it was very important for me
Woo.
to put a support system in place. And sometimes those are friends and family, and sometimes it's people you have to hire to be able to help you so that you can run your business efficiently. So for me, it was both.
And that is very, very true when you're developing and running a brand and doing all those incredible things. You do have to have not only do you have to have a tribe that you don't
Mhm.
compensate, that want to
Right,
help you and support you, but you have to also have that tribe that you do compensate to make sure that you can get every single need met. So I definitely can relate to that, especially having built a brand for a long time, like yourself. It's just a part of the process, and
right.
it's always a blessing to be able to have those people in place. Well, let me ask you another question. When you talk
Yes.
in your chapter, you talk about the scheduling. I
Hmm.
want to hear from you about that. When it comes to being effective at scheduling, what does that look like as a boss? You mentioned you went from being a person with a business to a actual boss. When it
Hmm.
comes to scheduling, what does that look like as a boss with the babies?
It looks like organization with intention. So there's a bunch of intentional things that you have to do as being a boss when you have children.
Yes.
Everything has intention behind it, like literally bath time, food time. We schedule for life to happen. Like, our whole house has been sick. Life does happen.
Mm.
So that's doing things ahead of time so that you're not overwhelmed if the school does call you and tell you to come pick up little Johnny them because they're sick. Guess what? You prepared for life to happen. Is staying prepared so that you will not have room to fail. So typically with my scheduling, I over prepare for everything. Like literally
Mhm.
just over prepare for it. So I own a bakery. I don't do anything last minute. Can I possibly at times? Yes. But as a mother, it's an inconvenience. So everything I
Mhm.
do is ahead of time. I leave room for life to happen. And that's the intention of a boss, of a business owner. You leave room and you leave space for life to occur. But while you're doing that, you're very intentional about every move that you make. So everything we do has a purpose behind it, and that purpose is to keep you in good health, is to keep you in peace, and it's also to keep you from losing your mind. And when you're in good, a good mental state, a good physical state, you're a better mom, and ultimately you're a better business owner as well.
I love it. So, Charity, tell us about how your children are feeling finding out that their mom has gone to a #1 bestseller on her first project. Congratulations.
Thank you. The kids are super excited. And this is project number one. I look forward to future endeavors with this company. It's been an amazing experience so far. My kids are super excited for me to start writing out my testimony, and they even want to be involved, because
I
of course
love it.
your children, they go through it with you. They
Yes.
got to experience everything. I like to say I grew up with my kids. So I have children from 19 all the way to age 9. So as you go through life, your children see that. So
Yes.
it's a testimony of what not only I just experienced, but my children as well.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on with us tonight.
Thank you.
Hang tight, because our sisters are going to be in the building with us in just a moment. But first, before we do that, we got Crystal Sauls in here, who is yawning. Let me tell y'all why Crystal's yawning. Because Crystal has an early schedule, which means that Crystal gets in bed super early because she starts her day around 3 o'clock in the morning. Crystal, unmute and welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you. So excited to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here, live and in color with energy. Woo! On the East Coast.
So listen, right before you got on the segment, we had a conversation and you were literally just coming from adding value to somebody else. And it
Yes.
seems like that is your mantra, that you're always going somewhere, doing something to add value to somebody else who is in business. What does it look like for you to be able to do that? You talk about that in your chapter. Your chapter is centered around those partnerships and those relationships and those connections. What are some of the things that you have found as a business owner, how you're able to give out and still be able to accomplish the things that you accomplish with your business and your brand?
Definitely. So I give out, first of all, to those who are nice and who give to me. We call those connections. So
Absolutely.
support, and they come and support me, you know, and so it's kind of like what Charity was saying. It's
Mhm.
got to be time sensitive. It got to fit in the day, fit in our schedule, and fit around what we're doing. Because I'm not going to be a busybody trying to get everybody else's stuff done, but we're going to have some structure. So I'm going to bring value with whatever it is, whether it's the book, coaching, music, or whatever. And then they're doing the same for me. And it's like kind of like a barter without bartering, but
Yeah.
we're available, and it's no stress. It's no animosity, no nice nasty. It's all love involved, because if love is not involved, I'm not showing up. Nope,
Period.
nope. I'm not
Period.
like
Period.
here. Mike's off. Oh, Chris ain't showing up if love ain't involved.
I love it. I love it. So your chapter, you talk about that. You talk about all of the amazing things that go on with that. I love how you developed out your chapter. I'm going to go into this content, honey, because when I tell you, Crystal, you did your thing, everybody did a fantastic job. I love everybody's chapter. But your chapter is something that was interesting. It was something that was interesting to me because people don't even really realize that support is a part of the process. If you're going to go, like what Charity was saying, if you're going to go from a business owner to being a boss, you have to have those systems in place for you to be able to win. Crystal, what are some of the systems that you have had in place to make certain that even though you're giving out, even though you're adding value to others, that you're able to win at the things you want to do for your business and your brand?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if it was mine, but I think I heard all that you said. So what is it that I bring value to?
Right. What is it that you do to make sure that your business and your brand has what it needs to have for you to win in totality? Not about the bartering, but what you have in place to make sure that Crystal Sauls, at the end of the day, that Crystal Sauls wins with her business.
Right. So my systems I have in place so I can win is for the business. I have the time schedule. I have schedules for marketing. I have schedules for me time. I have
Mhm.
schedules for coaching. Um, and being coached and implementing things. And then I have a great support system, for me to win, that whether that's a connection or, somebody I meet, somebody donating money for different things, adding value to the business. All these things are put into systems so that we can survive and we're not all over the place.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, listen, guys, that is Crystal Sauls and Charity Coley. They are two bad bosses that are on this project. But wait, there is so many more beauties that are in the building on tonight. So we're going to bring them to the stage. Good evening to the other bosses that are in the building on tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, everybody had an opportunity. We've all got our ebooks. Some of us have started getting our actual hard copies in, but most of us have received our ebooks, and the testimonies have rolled in from us just interacting with each other. So I'm going to start off with Lady Charity, and then I'm going to go with Crystal, because I know both of them have on the time restraint because they do have super early schedules. So we want to honor and respect their scheduling. So I want to start with you, Lady Charity. When you actually opened up this book and you started looking at this content and you started to read and engage with the sisters on this project, what author intrigued or captured you the most out of all the sisters that you've actually had a chance to read about? You're on mute, Charity.
Oh Lord, I see. I don't know how to work this thing. I didn't even know I was on mute. Oh God. Okay, back to it. So for me, it was actually Depria's.
Wow.
Depria's testimony and my testimony are actually very similar. Every single last one of the ladies, like I've read them all, and honestly, I pulled from every one of them. There's so much wisdom and knowledge, but I actually identified, I want to say, with every author. Honestly, is this is a very good project because we can find ourselves like literally in every area. It was just so much knowledge, but me and Depria had a lot in common. We both have been through abuse, divorce, starting over like in life, dealing with children, trying to find our way, health issues, even as far as down to, things we dealt with pregnancy with our babies. And I'm like, wow, you never know what someone else has been through. So I was able to identify with her chapter. And it was just phenomenal. It was amazing. Some awesome authors in this book.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Crystal, when you went and you looked at the content from your sisterhood and you got a chance to explore some of the other writers, who actually touched you the most?
So I believe it's is it Victoria for the first chapter? Is that her name?
Yeah, yeah.
Victoria. Yeah, I was able to read through most of that today, and I liked her journey from working for someone else to starting her daycare business and being in that for 20 years. But her story of having time for her family, being there, having family time with the kids, the husband, and then just actually transitioning from being a busybody in her business. She talked about, you know, being a marketing girl, the admin girl, and doing all these different titles in her. And she mentioned that, hey, I don't have to do all of that just because it's my business. I need to kind of delegate that. So I resonated with that chapter really well today. And just, her balancing everything. That was just, she could have said a lot more, but given our time, our page restriction in our book, that is summed it up in so many things, especially for somebody like me that, needs to eventually have a family or want to have a family, and then balancing all of that and still coming out on top. That
Oh,
was a
that's
big.
I know that's right. Being a boss does require that you have to be able to balance and you have to be able to delegate and you have to be able to trust. That's one of the biggest things that we have to learn as business owners is that we have to be able to trust. Trust that we have chosen the right people to be on our team, chosen the right staff, chosen the right people to execute what we require, the right people that have our spirit and our best interests at heart. So it is truly, truly, truly a huge blessing to be able to do that. But it does take time. And in Victoria's chapter, she talked about a 20-year journey in the business that she had having a childcare facility. So that's a lot of work. Having a childcare facility is a whole lot of work. So listen, I'm gonna roll over here to my girl. Chrissy Thibodeau is in the building. Chrissy, welcome,
Hello.
welcome, welcome. Listen, who really touched you in this book?
Actually, I took bits and pieces from everyone because there were so many very powerful chapters. But I actually really dove in, and I think it's because it was a chapter that I constantly needed to remind myself on. Uh, Shamir's chapter, I'm built for this. It's one of those things that I constantly have to talk to myself on because I am built for it. And I think as women, uh, there are times when we get put in this box and they want us to stay in this kind of box. And we have to actually tell ourselves, no, I'm built for this. I've done this, and I can do this. I'm put in this situation, but I can make it out. I'm good. So the different things in the situations that she was talking about and how she thought through her process and saying that, I can actually do this as a businesswoman, not just as this person over here or that person over there. I really loved her chapter and how she just constantly is making sure that she's gonna end up on top.
I
So
love it. I love it. And you're right. That is something that we always have to remember as bosses. It's like, you know what? I got everything I need within me. Period. No matter what I'm facing, no matter what I'm experiencing, everything that I need is on the inside of me. And if I didn't have it on the inside of me, I wouldn't have this business in the first place.
correct.
But because God created me in his image and his likeness, I can do this. I got this for sure. No doubt. No doubt. So we're gonna head on over to my girl JJ Woods. JJ and I go back a long time. JJ Woods is literally one of the first people I met when I got to Houston, who actually was a part of my village in raising my children. So as I was building my brand and building out my business, it was a whole lot of times that she would say, Miss Brown, you got this? You all right? You need me to help you do that? You okay? Do you need this? You got that? I'm like, I got it, girl. I got it. But I do need you to help me do this. And so I definitely appreciate the journey that she and I have been on for the past 12 years. Can you believe that, JJ? It's been 12 years since our paths crossed over at Albright Middle School. Albright.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, just grateful, so grateful for you. I wanted to say that publicly and give you your flowers for the support that you gave me when I first got here with my young baby. My children were very, very young, 9, 12, and 13. It was crazy.
Yes,
And
ma'am. It's been a
I
journey for both of
yes,
us.
yes. And I just appreciate the support that you gave me back then and just helping me to navigate through being at work all day and then building a brand at night and being at work all day and building that brand at night, then taking all the people. Miles got to go to football practice. Mike got to go to swim practice. And yes, we're going over here to this for drama. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. How many people can I be in one? But I'm telling you, it does, like Charity was talking about before, it takes a village to be able to execute and become the person that you see in your imagination when it comes to building a business and a brand. So, JJ, who was your inspiration from the book?
Like all the ladies have said, every chapter was absolutely amazing and captivating. And being a part of this whole project is just a dream come true. I've met so many great women, and their testimonies just help me to, to just encourage me to keep going. And, like you said, with building that village and having people there for you, you were there with me in my journey when I was a caregiver for my mom. So you understand, just like I was there for you to support, thank God you were there
Yeah.
for me to support me, encourage me, give me words, pray over me, cry with me. And out of the book, Lady Rob, her chapter, and just that passion that she has and that dedication that she has to family and her purpose, and that purpose, walking in purpose, really touched me with her journey. And it gave me what I needed for the season where I'm feeling stagnant. And I look at her testimony and I'm like, but God, thank you, God, for
Yes.
putting these wonderful women in my path. And thank you for this season to give me a reason to continue to pursue my goals and to focus on what matters the most. And so just that testimony was so powerful, and I can't wait for everyone to read all of these chapters of the ladies, and they can see just our excitement about what we read.
Yes. And you know what? It's so, you mentioned about your mom. And that was hard for me to go through with you. I was like, I would literally have to make sure I wiped my face before I got to your office. And back then it was vice versa. It was my office.
Absolutely.
At first it was my office, and
Absolutely.
then I moved on, and then you got my office. And it's
Absolutely.
so funny because I was like, man, we just kind of flip-flopped when we went over to Hastings, and it was a hard time to see you have to deal with that and still have to go and fight for the students and fight for our community like we were doing and be advocates, to children who were really, really struggling with their own things. And we got to forget about ourselves and get in there and do what we got to do to be there for those children. And it was very, very rough, to see you go through that experience, and then, just to see how God bless you to be able to go ahead and just press through, press through, press through, and get through it. It was so beautiful to see on the other side of that, how now you're going back, adding value to other people, letting them know that, hey, no matter what you're facing, this too will pass. So I'm super excited to have you on this project, and it's a
Absolutely. Thank you
blessing
so much.
to be able to have you on board with us. I was so excited when I knew you were going to be a part of it. So I was like, yeah, all my girls, yes, all my girls, yes. So I'm super excited to have you on. So welcome to the team, to the family, to the publishing family. I'm just excited to have you on board with that. Everybody, Chrissy and I go way back for a long time. For a long, long time. Matter of fact, y'all, let me tell y'all what Chrissy did. Chrissy literally helped me with my homework. Listen, y'all, when I tell you, me and Chrissy was over there like, what is this man asking you to do? What is going on with this? Chrissy was like, he wants you to do all this right now? And I was like, yeah, he want me to do all of it right now. We was trying to find, it was the craziest assignment, y'all. Like, no joke, it was crazy. But Chrissy was like, we got this. We can do this. So she on one computer doing something, I'm on the other computer. And then like my test, y'all, no joke, the first time I took a test in this class, I got an F. I have never got an F in my life, but one time. And I was like, I failed a quiz. I don't fail at nothing. How I got a whole F? And a lot of times, if you know anything about the online community for graduate programs, usually you can take it twice, right? Not in this class. You only had one hit, one chance, and it's a finance class. So when I told JJ about it, she was like, "What? They ain't let you take the test over?" I said, "No, they ain't let me take the test over." And then that crazy assignment showed up. I literally was on the phone with the professor. I told Chrissy I had a recording, y'all, everything, and we still could not figure it out. And so all of a sudden it dawned on me, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I figured out how to navigate through it. And let me tell y'all, I earned a whole A. Go God. Okay. Go God. Because I was like, I cannot mess up now. I am an A honor roll student. I'm gonna graduate with my master's with honors. I ain't gonna get no regular. I'm gonna get one of them stripes, one of them banners, one of them stars, whatever they give people with honors. I'm getting all that stuff. All them things they give people. Anybody got time for this? So big ups to Chrissy. Thank you so, so much. And Crystal literally came to us as a referral, and she has another book that's amazing called Transition. It's a really, really great publication that she did with us, and we're super excited about that solo project. She's still doing her thing, y'all. She getting them royalties checks. But anyway, we're gonna head on over. We're gonna head on over to my other sister from another Mr. and Mrs. Me and Tanisha go back for at least 25 years. I mean, like many, 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 many moons ago. Like before I even had my first tiny human, she and I were on the path and on the journey in our spiritual walk, doing ministry together, leading at a amazing ministry that our bishop is still over to this day, 40 years later, 35, 40 years later, Bishop Monroe McLaughlin. Yeah, pops. So super excited and grateful for our bishop, and me and Tanisha, man, man, I tell you what, we had a great, great journey there, and it has really catapulted us to where we are today. So Lady Rob, tell us who your inspiration is on this book. You got to come off mute first. You're doing a charity right now. You're doing a charity. Come on off mute, daughter. Let us hear you. Hallelujah. Go up, touch the button, daughter. Touch the button. Yes.
I called it, girl. I had called it. I had called it right there. Listen, I know we had an assignment, but I just couldn't do it. You know, I was somebody had to come, right, and not do the assignment correctly, right? The whole book is phenomenal. I'm not gonna choose one woman on this book. I'm not gonna do it, right? I mean, every woman poured out their soul into this book. Every woman had purpose, and every woman came with instructions. Come on, y'all. Y'all don't make me shout now by myself. Every woman came with dignity and respect. They came with their journey. They came with their heart. They came with their families. They came with their friends. And now we have all come together. And so if I was to sum it up with one person, though, if I was to do that person would be, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. And I said the song because every woman on here deserves to have that story. And I believe that this collaboration and this project has afforded all of us to win, 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 no matter what. So that's my answer.
And let me tell y'all what she's talking about. You know, since she really not gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell y'all what she's talking about. Okay. So when we got her chapter in, see, Gracia is, let's give a snap clap for Gracia. She is the VP of Communications. She is our first step editor in the project. Gracia calls me and she says, your sister chapter, I said, which sister you talking about? I said, I got my biological sister and my sister that had different parents who's still my sibling. Which one you talking about? And she said, not Charity, not Charity followed direction. Charity, she stayed within the confines of the direction. She did what she did right. But your sister, your other sister, yeah, she must have thought we told her to write a whole book. I said, what? I said, huh? She said she got a lot of content. It's really good, but I don't know how we gonna shorten it.
You can't give a pastor a mic. You just can't do it. You can't give me a pen and you can't give me a mic.
Y'all, let me make y'all laugh though. She don't like to read, but she will write up something. Ask her to read, she ain't gonna do it. But if you ask her to write, she gonna write up some stuff, like for real. And I was like, what? And I just sat there. I said, you know what? Just send it over to me. And when I called Gracia, I said, I did like this. I was on the phone. I said, what is this? What is this? What am I gonna do with? I was like, how are we gonna splice? I can't even slice this up. What is this? But when we read it, you know, there was no way to condense it. It was not one of those things where you could condense it because of how she actually wrote her chapter. So it would have been impossible for her to condense. It was not condensable. So the editor was even like, you know what? I think I could just. I think if I strategically line these couple of sentences up, I can package some things and put it together. And I said, make it work. And it came out for Gracia and our chief editors. Our collaborative, like Charity talked about, you know, we had to trust somebody. So God has blessed us with a phenomenal editing firm and a PR firm who have really, really been a great blessing to us throughout the course of this project. So we are so excited for them. And so, man, the editor was like, she said, man, this really encouraged me too. I was like, hey, man, I don't need you in your feelings right now. I need you to finish doing this content. Don't be over there crying and caring. She's like, yeah, when I got to Charity's chapter, I was reading and I was like, yeah, you know what? I remember when my kids, I was like, hey, I'm gonna need you to hold it together. Okay. All right. Praise God. So listen, super excited. My girl Gracia's in the building. She and I really, God knitted our hearts together immediately. when I first went public about a situation that happened to me many, many years ago. She was right there, and man, we was in Atlanta, and God just showed slap out in the room that day, and we've been rolling ever since. She is our VP of communications, and we're so excited to have her on the project. She's not normally available to be on projects, but this one, she was like, oh, Boston's Babes in Business. Oh, I'm gonna be on that one. That it's the title for me. I will be on that one. Yeah, it's the title for me. So truly, 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 Gracia, I know you have had a chance to dig deep and delve deep into everybody's content. So who inspired you the most throughout the project?
Okay, these women, phenomenal.
They are
One thing
amazing.
about the book that I love was I saw myself at different stages in my life in
And
all
everything.
of the women.
Yes. Yes.
You know, like Whitney Houston song, I'm every woman, that's me.
Yes. Fact.
I've been everything and I've been through everything, it
Yes.
seems. And I can resonate with everybody in the book. But the person who inspired me most at the place that I am right now is right next to you on this screen, and that is Chrissy Thibodeau.
Aww.
I loved Chrissy's chapter because she talked about doing the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
She talked about stretching yourself. She talked about, not having limits. One of the parts in her chapter that I really loved was when she talked about how people will love when you do everything that they want you to do.
Period.
But then they start switching up when you start having boundaries and doing what you need to do for yourself to grow. And that is something that I have, struggled with in my life. Take that from a former people pleaser and a slightly reformed self-sabotager. But I really loved her chapter. And I'm gonna tell you something else, Chrissy, that I love. I love the way that you organize your chapter. Because even when I was reading it, I was like, this seems like it's written by somebody like a type A personality like myself.
That would be Chrissy.
Because I love organization. I'm like, that's type A people. We do that.
Yes.
We do that. But I love the book. I love all of the stories that you women gave, because I'm gonna tell you something. It takes a lot to be vulnerable on the page for
Yes.
everybody to read.
Yes.
And I thank y'all for sharing your stories with me and everybody.
I love it.
We
It
are
was
definitely blessing a lot of people, and I was
yes.
blessed by this book.
Yes. It was really beautiful. When I first and I had to, when I first go through content, because like I said, Gracia goes first because y'all know I got OCD. So I be in there talking about something. Oh my God, I cannot believe she said this out loud. No, ma'am, you're gonna have to. And Gracia was like, no, ma'am. How about you not look at content at all? You don't get no chance to. No, you don't get to. But I'm an editor. She's no, ma'am. You can't edit
No,
nothing that you publish. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No,
no,
no. You need to
because
transfer
Koffe
that over.
just goes
I go too far,
way
y'all. I got
left
OCD, so
all the
it's
time.
really bad. She just be like, no, ma'am. Leave the sentence in there. I said, but it's not congruently sound based on grammatics. She's like, no, ma'am. That's no, no. Put the book down. No, ma'am. Don't touch that. Leave it alone. So thank God for gracious ministry. Just thank God for gracious ministry, y'all, for real. But no, super, super, super excited about this entire project. It is really a blessing, seriously. So I'm going to every single writer that's on this project, when we get off the live, they're going to be putting their direct contact information in the chat. We want you to support the actual writer. So you are not going to Amazon unless you're buying directly from me. But if you're buying from one of these fantastic authors, if you're actually my person and you know me personally, don't even buy from me. If you resonated with anybody from tonight, I want you to support these incredible women. They have done a fantastic job. Their link is going to be inside the chat that is on social media. You'll be able to connect with them directly from there. Make sure you like, you share, you follow them. Intellectual property doesn't cost you one thing to click that share button. So share, let somebody else know about these amazing, amazing women that you've been able to meet. And this is not everybody. It's 12 bosses on this project. So this is not everybody. So please, and also keep our very own Shamir Bacon in your thoughts and prayers. She has lost her mom. Excuse me. And so we want to keep her in our thoughts and our prayers. We were talking about her chapter, I'm Built for This, and that was done by our very own Shamir Bacon. And so she's dealing with the loss of her mom right now. So we want to keep her covered in our thoughts and our prayers. And then Rosalyn Jones was not able to be with us. So she has a fantastic chapter as well. The degree did not work for me, honey. It is a powerful chapter that she put together. So it's really awesome. And this book is dedicated to my adopted mom, Deborah Dixie McCoy. She went home to be with the Lord last year. And so around the holiday time, and it affected me greatly, but I wanted to find a way to be able to honor her. So this book is dedicated to Deborah Dixie McCoy, and I miss her with everything in me. She was literally my very first client when I gave birth to my daughter 20 years ago. She was my very first client. She was the one that believed in me. She believed I could do a business. And so she was my greatest cheerleader, and she opened so many doors for me. She wasn't just saying, oh, we got this, you can do this. She said, no, I'm going to be your first client. And she got on the phone that exact day and gave me 20 clients, y'all. In one day, I had 20 clients by just going to her. So I appreciate her starting this off for me, adding value to my life in such a unique and powerful way. So I really miss her a lot. And that hole is in my heart, but I know God is a healer. And so every single day I ask God to just help me to cope with that loss. You know, losing somebody like that who poured so much into my life, it's hard. But you know, God is a healer, and we know that she is with God. She is wrapped in his arms. So I'm grateful for that. With that being said, I love you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in. Make sure, again, you connect with these amazing, exceptional women. They are phenomenal, and they're doing so many incredible things. So be on the lookout for these women. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. So thank you so much for tapping in, tuning in, and being with us on this edition of the P. Koffe Brown Show. And we'll be back again soon. For now, we're signing off. Grace, peace, and blessings be unto you and your households. And we'll see you all soon. Peace.